Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Four Lads Rangers. Instant match reaction as Rangers win what can only be described as a thriller in Paisley. Kenny attacking football, wing play, taking players on, loads of shots, loads of chances. That wasn't our game, but it'll happen at some today somewhere, I'm sure. Rangers get the 3 points.
We do indeed. An exhilarating game of football. I fell asleep 3 times, mate, but and I was I was I was roasting a chicken all the way through it, and that was more entertaining than that game was. But listen, bottom line, 3 points and across the road and back across the M8 and get on with the next game. That's all we can do at the moment, mate. And it was, to be fair to the boys, the conditions were horrendous. It is terrible outside, so we'll cut them a bit of slack because they've got the 3 points that was much needed after Hearts' result last night. Puts us right back in it. No getting away from it, mate.
Yeah. People asked me this week how I hurt my eye. I've scratched my cornea, and it was closed over the other night. I don't know if people kind of noticed on the show. It's watching Rangers. That's what it is. And I was pouring my medicine in. I have to put drops in every hour, Kenny, and there was points there today that it was bleach. But listen, we're all jovial now because Rangers win the game, and that's all that matters, and it really does. Any complaints about that starting 11 today?
Not really. Scott Olsen hasn't particularly done it, so didn't surprise me that he was put to the bench. However, nobody's ever going to tell me that Gassama should be playing on the right-hand side, mate. He just doesn't do enough. So it's now about 10 years we've had an issue on the right-hand side, bar the year that Václav Černý was there. We just have an issue on that side, and it's just what Rangers do. Apart from that, not overly. Diamandi was injured, wasn't he? So midfield, nice to see Conor Barron come back. I thought he came on and did very, very well. And it's the kind of team that we want to see. However, I'm going to raise a couple of questions about the two up front. I don't think they were particularly good at all today. I thought they huffed and puffed and didn't do much blowing your house down.
Yeah. I had an issue with the selection as well. I mean, I put it on X and I put it on the chat that the right-hand side was the biggest concern to me. Jerry Gassama is playing well within himself at the moment. It was noticeable that both him and Tav scored. Was that the manager's trying to keep them up after last week? Possibly. We need more. Scott Olsen, yeah. Oliver Antman needs to see him back involved. I thought we might have seen him towards the end, but we didn't. I suppose there's a lot. There is positives to discuss. Look, the main thing is we got the result. We got a clean sheet. Big pat in the back to Nasajiga and Manny Fernandez. I thought they were excellent. Totally strolled the game, even when it did become a bit pressurised later. They were pretty much faultless. Jack Butland didn't have a save to make at all of note. I think he caught one from a header in the first half, and that was it. So there is positives in there. Two Romans again, very good, and I thought we did fine defensively. I thought Nico Raskin was our best player today. Set up the goal well, but here's where it gets problematic. There's absolutely nothing happening going forward from midfield. There's nothing happening on the wings, and the front two are hard working. Nadiri especially, I can't take to Yusuf Chermiti. It doesn't matter how many times I watch him. He just flatters to deceive. He's like that guy at work that does absolutely nothing and occasionally pitches in with something good. I'm not talking about Chris, by the way. And he frustrates the life out of me because there's a player in there when he can be arsed. And I just think the problem is Kenny he can't be. But listen, that's a brief overview of it. We've won 1-0. It's an away game. We've kept a clean sheet. We've defended well. I'm going to take that all day long and be happy with it because as much as we, as much as it is a roller coaster, we're 3 points behind with 8 games to go. We should be flying and saying we're right in this title race. And we are right in this title race. It's just that everybody that's watching it, probably everyone in the comments, just goes, it's the hope that kills you. And we do at least have the positives of a result to talk about.
The positive for me is that's the first time we've won there in 4 attempts. You've got to look at it and be realistic sometimes and say that that was not a game of football you'd ever want to watch back. Never. It was an horrific game of football. I agree with you regarding the front two. Chermiti, I think you are talking about Chris, right? I mean, you probably are talking about Chris, but no, look. Yusuf Chermiti was summed up in the first half today, where he is literally 5 yards from goal, and he's not even facing the goal when he's got an opportunity to score. And Chris Boyd pointed to it, and he was spot on when he said, if you're a Rangers striker, you're just driving in there, get your head down and just smack that in the net. It is that simple. And he, for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to have that in him. I don't know why that is. I want to see a bit more ruthlessness from everybody up front. Gassama is just shot to pieces in terms of confidence. You can see that for sure. He's just not got any confidence at all. Mikey Moore, I thought it was, I wouldn't say so much say productive, but he was kind of constructive, if you like, in the first half.
I thought he was dreadful, but we'll get to that.
I thought he was okay first half. I thought second half he got progressively worse. And it's difficult, and it's again, I just look at that and say sometimes we have to understand the kid's 18 years of age, and at times we're just looking for him to lead, and I don't think that's fair. I thought we've got to be a little bit more creative. We've got to be a little bit more, have a little bit more imagination, Stevie, because in the first half, when you watch it, so much goes down through James Tavernier, and it becomes very predictable. And I just feel that sometimes we need to be a little bit more imaginative, have a little bit more imagination. That's what I would say. But I'm not going to sit here and criticise today. I thought that was just one of those games that you get sometimes, Stevie, where there is very, very little decent football played. You've got the win, you've got your clean sheet, you've got the 3 points that get down the road and focus on next weekend against Aberdeen, isn't it? So it's right there for us now, Stevie. It is now yet again back in our own hands. It's crazy because I did not expect Hearts to lose last night. I really didn't. And for somebody that was in his bed at 7:15 and woke up at 1 o'clock this morning to find out they'd dropped points, I found it very funny. I just crashed out early bells last night and had no idea. So I'm delighted that over the course of this weekend, we've now found ourselves right back in this, Stevie. That's all I'm going to take from this weekend.
Yeah, look, we've spent weeks saying you need to find ways to win. And we watched the Rangers' performance last week that had 24 shots on goal, chances cleared off the line, constant pressure, and we didn't win. Watched the performance today where, they huffed and puffed a bit, but they did win. So what do we want? It's 2 clean sheets in a row for Giga and Fernandez, which I definitely think is the way to go now. Their recovery pace is really good. They look casual with each other. They knew they were doing stuff. So that's the kind of positive. We'll go through the game, Kenny. I think the biggest talking point, Rangers actually started well. They were pretty much comfortable. Didn't look like creating anything, which is the story of the day. The biggest talking point was corner kick to Rangers, which they took short to Romans, that old one that teams just don't seem to be able to combat. Romans bends it in. Nico Raskin heads towards goal, and Goldget's hand is out. His left, he touches it, clearly stops it going towards goal. Right here, it's going to be really difficult because I don't want to come across as being one of these guys that leads into conspiracies, but we had 2 big decisions today. We didn't get either of them. The first one for me, that Goldget's handball is a penalty every single day of the week, and when it's a couple of weeks after when Sterling getting punished against Celtic, I have to wonder why. What's the reason that's given and ours wasn't today? Is it simply because of the shirt colour? And I hate doing that sort of stuff because I just thought it was a stick-on. Sky never even mentioned it. Nico Raskin's head and it's going towards goal. Hand is out. It's not by its side. It's out. It stops it. There's not. It's not like they're right there. The distance is enough. He gets himself caught. It's a penalty kick. I want a penalty for that. And referee, nope. Stephen McLean, obviously it's no from him. And it's VAR immediately dismisses it straight away. My take on that, Kenny, is it's a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's probably a penalty. For the reason that you've said, actually, that his hand is not down by his side. His hand is slightly out. He's making himself bigger. And that, as far as I was aware, is the reason why you would give a penalty for that, because you've made yourself bigger. And it's, if you actually look at him as contact's made, both hands are out. So he has definitely made himself bigger. So if it connects with one of those hands, to me, that should be a penalty kick. Can I understand why they've not given it? No, but I don't. Listen, I've got to tell you right now, I just do not understand this rule anymore at all. There's ones that I see that are never penalty kicks that have been given, and the ones that look stonewall to me that aren't being given. So, what the criteria is, I have absolutely no clue. I genuinely mean this. I don't know. But for me, looking at it, I think that's a penalty kick.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out here and play devil's advocate. We saw a team get a penalty yesterday when they needed it. And I saw a team yesterday get that, and it was questionable. I saw a team today should have been given a penalty and didn't get it. This isn't a one-off, right, where you could just say, it's fine. We've seen Sterling getting punished for this a couple of weeks ago. Once again, it comes to Rangers, and we get absolutely nothing, and it doesn't even get looked at. VAR, it seems to me. By the way, VAR checked the lines and everything for Roman's first goal, and he was more onside than I am sitting here in my kitchen. I just don't understand it. So I hate this because I don't want to be becoming one of these guys that sits here and goes, it's a conspiracy and everything. But what I will say to you is, and this is probably the fairest way to see it, there's a hell of a lot of decisions that we're not getting that are right borderline that others seem to be getting.
I don't doubt that. I think that when you look over the course of this weekend, without going into the conspiracy theories of it, I think Hearts were a bit unfortunate at one point not to get a decision. I think Motherwell have been incredibly unfortunate with at least two decisions. At least two.
Did you see the one where he was pushed, the boy in the box, and the Maeda elbow in the face as well? These are ones that are not getting checked. These are ones that are, it's difficult.
For me, the Maeda one is difficult because I don't. If the referee doesn't see that, I don't see why VAR are going to give it. However, for me, when you look at that, you kind of look at that and think he knows what he's doing there. For what it's worth, mate, I think the penalty kick that Motherwell give away is probably a penalty. It's difficult I've only seen it from directly behind him, so I'm not 100%. I'd need to see other angles, but I think the boy's got a hold of him. That's all I would say. But what I will say to you is, over the course of this weekend, there's 4 teams at the top of that table, and there's only one team is getting decisions. That's my point. Every other team is questionable.
Do you think the Hearts one was?
Do I think it's a penalty?
Aye. Even though he's not went down? It's a foul, though.
I think it's a penalty. I do. Yeah. And my problem with this is that people are turning around and saying, if he goes down, it's a penalty. But it shouldn't really matter. If it's a penalty, that's what VAR's there for, surely, to turn around and say that's a penalty. I don't know, mate. I've just got to the point where, because of the nature of our podcast, we've got to watch sometimes with what we say. We do. However, that's as far as I'll take that, is that there's 4 teams at the top of that league, and there's one team that gets decisions more often than the rest of us, and that's all I'll say. And it's a bit high time that the rest of Scottish football cottoned on to that. And I don't believe that there's a conspiracy or cheating going on. I just think there's an unconscious bias, I'll put it that way, where, for the better way of putting this, it's a damn sight easier to live in this part of the world if you don't seek controversy. with certain individuals in certain situations. That's all I'll say.
We will skip all the way to the first goal because nothing else really happened. We had a succession of corner kicks. And then the goal's a bit of class. He gets plays forward. Jerry Gassama does really well. He comes inside, couple of good touches, plays it out wide to Nico. Nico drives in on his left foot, puts a lovely ball. And I'm going to use my favourite saying, into the corridor of uncertainty, Kenny. Nobody knows where it is. Goalie can't come. And there's two Romans at the back post. I had a slight flashback of the old firm chance at 2-0. But he takes it. And it's a really good finish. Good goal for Rangers. Really well worked. As I said, I thought Nico was good today. Probably our best player. And he gets a good assist. It's a good finish by two Romans as well. Good goal for Rangers. It was a one we needed in what was a game that we were controlling, but without any real quality.
Yeah, we were a bit powder puff up front, Stevie. That's what I would say. But a fine goal, a really good goal. And for whatever reason, their defender at the back post just lets him come in at the back post to have a free attempt at it, and we'll take that. Thank you very much. But everything about the goal was a nice goal, actually, because it's a good finish. It's a cracking cross in, as you say. I think it was Gassama, as you said, that did quite well to get the ball to Nico. And listen, that's ended up being the winner. And yeah, it was no more than we deserved. If you're being 100% on, it may not have been a good game of football, but we've kind of dominated that from start to finish. So. Like as I say, for me, it's a situation that I look at and say that it kind of came out the blue for me. I didn't really see a goal coming at that particular point, but fair play to Romans for being as far up the pitch as he was, Stevie, because it's been a long time since we've seen a left back up right up, literally inside the 6-yard box like that. So delighted with it.
Yeah, and the other big noticeable moment was a moment on the 41st minute where I couldn't help but think if this goes in, then Rangers are in a really good position. Right, here's where it gets Kenny. How do I explain this? Because it's going to seem like I'm having a go at him when I'm not. Attitude, desire, heart, that's a goal all day long. I want to see my strikers hungry. Every striker that I grew up watching, Hateley, McCoist, Mo Johnson, that's food and drink for them. And then go further up the food chain, Purcell, Novo, Miller, Boyd. These are successful Rangers strikers, and they're successful because a chance like that, you get yourself in, body, everything, and you're tapping that in the corner. Yusuf Chermiti plays in a style which really gets on my tits, and it's a one where he always looks like it's half-paced. It always looks like he's going at his own speed. And I can't do that. And it's the same as Taylor Asgard for me. And it's a style thing that it just doesn't achieve anything for me. That's got to be a goal. You've got to show that hunger and desire and willingness to get on the score sheet. And he just doesn't do it. And honestly, it frustrates the life out of me. Kenny, he's about 4 yards out. And he gets beat. I do think it's a corner, by the way. But that's by the by, because you've got to get in there. You've got to show that desire and hunger to go and do it. And he didn't. And that's so frustrating. Rangers should be 2-0 up in that game.
Yeah, they should be. And the issue I've got, whether it's a corner or not, mate, it's going past the post anyway. It's not going in, I don't think. But the problem I have with that kind of situation is that, listen, you're talking about Rangers strikers of old. There's an umpteen strikers in our league that would bury that, Stevie. That's where I have an actual problem with this. Could you imagine Lauren Shanklin missing that for talk's sake? Never. It's just getting buried. There's a lot of Maspanisi's burying that. There's loads of strikers in our league that are going to score that. And for me, I said it earlier on at the start of the show that I just look at it and think, you're not even facing the right way. He's actually facing side on, Stevie. He should be ramming that in the back of the net. You've got to find a ruthlessness. And as you said about the likes of a Chris Boyd or an Ali McCoist or whatever, that is going in 100 times out of 100. They're never missing that. well, 99 times out of 100, there'll always be an opportunity to miss something. But 99 times out of 100, that is going in the net if you're a top striker. And he's an enigma for me. Because as I say, I think he's a very decent footballer. But I've said this loads, and I don't understand it. He almost looks like Joe Linton at Newcastle. It's that kind of thing that you could see him 3-4 years down the line being that kind of number 8. That's what you can see, because I don't think he's a striker. I genuinely don't. I think you could make a footballer out of him, but I do not believe that he's a natural number 9 at all. And we're actually playing with two of them, and we're not producing anything, are we? You've got to be honest here as a Rangers fan and look at that and say, I'm now becoming a little bit concerned about it.
I want to come to that. I want to come to the forward line because we will. We've got to remember the positive side of this is we won 1-0 today. It's a really difficult place to go. They make it hard for you. It was terrible conditions. Jack hasn't had a save to make. Defensively, we were very good and we're right back in this title race. So I don't want it to become a slog on this podcast where it's negative, because it's not mean to be. Rangers certainly should go 2-0 up, Kenny, in the 56th minute. Nico Raskin is just wide, good set piece. And then a couple of minutes later, I beg your pardon, a good effort from James Tavernier, which was really well saved to the left-hand side. The goalkeeper at that point, you think Rangers are looking good for a 2-0 victory, or a 2-0 lead rather. Two good chances, good save. Raskin should hit the target. If the wee fella's really good in there, he should do better there because of the high standards he'd set. But two good opportunities for Rangers to. Could Tav really put his laces through it? Is it a bit of a Hollywood save? We're being hypercritical, I suppose, but you've got two opportunities there where you would hope that Rangers would be more clinical, and that's probably the story of watching Rangers at the moment. It's that clinical edge.
Yeah, maybe, but with the Nico Raskin one, he's a distance out, to be fair. He is, for a header, he's a fair distance out, and it's only maybe a yard past the post. He's not that far away. The James Tavernier one, I'm not going to criticise James Tavernier for not leathering it, because I think it makes it much more difficult to control. I think what he's trying to do is put the bend on it, play it, play it with the defender, play it past the defender into the top corner, and he's very, very close. Keeper's at full stretch, makes a good save. But I tell you what, if it's a foot higher, the keeper's not saving it. So I've no complaints with it, with either, actually. If Nico's 4 or 5 yards further in, I think I would expect him to actually score with it. But he's just a wee bit far out for a header to be critical of him missing it. That's what I would say. But we're creating a few chances, Stevie, at that point. And if you're looking at it, and as you say, we're not going to sit here and criticise Rangers today, because when I say dominated the game, we've controlled that game for literally 90 minutes. They've done nothing in the game. Couple of times that they've managed to get down the side because they're a goal down and they're going for it, and that's it. But they never did anything at all. And as to go back to what you said, that about the centre, fair play to the two centre halves. Anything that came into the box, they just mopped it up. So no concerns whatsoever. But it's just it's a frustration when you're watching it, Stevie. And if you were to watch it back, it would be a much easier watch than it was, in real time. But we've totally controlled the game, and as you said, Butland's not had a thing to do, really.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to skip right on to the last couple of minutes, Kenny, because there's a huge gap in your note-taking. A lot of words such as carelessness, nothing has happened, this is shit. And then we scoop right on to the last couple of minutes where Mikey Moore gets in twice, doesn't he? First one he overruns, he was offside. The second one he gets in, and I'm just begging him to open up on his right foot. It's all there. He takes a decent touch. And he squares it. Tello Asgard taps it in. See the replay, it looks onside to me. And here we go. Not for 1 second did I ever consider we were going to get that goal. It looked onside. They paused it, the lines, and then they took the lines up for VAR, and it just looked like a different still frame, almost like Asgard was further forward than what we were seeing. I don't know, man. Like, some of the lines you see are pretty. But anyway, I mean, it's that late in the game. It would have been a icing on the cake, I suppose. I thought Asgard done all right when he came on touch-wise and that. He was very good. Conor Barron was actually very good today. Kept the ball, just kept it. And that's probably, see, a couple of weeks ago when we were 2-0 up, it's probably exactly what we needed, Conor Barron. I believe that Chukwani and Raskin are so similar. They do so much power of running and they win the midfield battles. But they don't offer too much else in ways of keeping the ball and stuff like that. So it would have been a nice way. I don't think we're getting those decisions, but Rangers do see it through, and we win 1-0. And it was a relief. It was a wee clenched fist moment, a relief. But we weren't in danger. We defended really well, but it's still a relief because you're waiting on that moment, aren't you? And then they get that free kick, and then they get the long throw, which comes to absolutely nothing. But it's a win that we grind out, and we've given Hearts all the credit in recent weeks because they've won 1-0 in games. Livingston, I think they beat Dundee 1-0, beat Hibs 1-0 with late goal. And they've won games where you think, right, these are the ones where you thought they were going to slip up, and you're giving them all the credit in the world. They don't win a game, Kenny, and Rangers do grind one out the next day. We would be saying if Hearts went and won this 1-0 today, it's a sign of champions and everything else. And we can't say that about Rangers because they've never managed to get to the summit to be able to say that. But it's a win that was absolutely necessary. And it reminded me of a game. I remember a game up in Perth. Rangers have been beaten by Dundee United 3-2 and we had 9 games left in the league. And the 9th one in, I think, was away at St Johnstone, and we won 2-0. Naismith definitely scored, and I think Jelic scored as well. But it was a dreadful performance by Rangers. They went and won 2-0, and off we kicked on a run of 8 wins, 1 draw, and we won our 3rd title under Walter. I would absolutely love something to happen. But before we go into the ins and outs of their forward line, a couple of things we probably want to cover before we end it. You just take the 3 points. You roll up your sleeves, take the 3 points. Thanks very much. We're 3 points in it. Good clean sheet, good defensive performance. Yeah, a lot of it else could be better, absolutely. But let's just be positive and enjoy the victory because it's been a crap couple of weeks. So I'll take that 3 points all day long.
Yeah, so will I. And as I say, we can't complain at all there. It was not a good game of football, but we have controlled that game for 90 minutes. And we've totally deserved the 3 points. They have done nothing in the 90 minutes. And we've already said this, it's a tough place to go. And that's the way it is. Hearts lost there the last time they were there. They lost a goal with a couple of minutes to go and get beat 1-0 there. So you look at it that way and you say, right, take the points and move on. I'm going to talk about your point about the offside. I actually burst into stitches when I seen the lines. I thought, piss off. You're at it. That is not where that was. If Sky had already taken a still from exactly where Moore passed the ball, and you're like, oh, well, we don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to sound stupid, right? And I've said it, so I probably do sound stupid. The one that Sky froze, he looked onside, right? He looked on. The one that they gave and showed for offside, it was almost like Asgard was elevated and moved forward, and it just didn't seem like the same one. And I don't want to go down that route because I'll make myself look like a tit. But honestly, it looked a lot closer than those lines that were drawn.
Stevie, the lines make him look a foot offside. He is never a foot offside. He's not. You can actually see. We've all got a pair of eyes, and listen, he might well be offside for all in it. I don't know, but nobody's telling me he's a foot offside because Sky had already shown you that it was really, really, really close. And then the lines in a gap like this, you're like, oh, come on, this is just mad. I don't know what's going on, mate. I genuinely don't. I don't understand it. It's a little bit like what we've watched all season. But I'll say it again. The technology that we are using is from Temu or Wish or a combination of both. Honestly, it's pathetic. And that's where I'm going to put the onus on the technology, although I'm not 100% convinced it is the technology. I just look at it and go, oh no, there's no way that he was that far offside. He just wasn't, Stevie. However, look, see the bottom line. We just take it and we move on, and question and just keep your mind open to questioning everything. That's what I'll say. And as I say, for me, more than anything else, what you've said about taking the 3 points here and controlling the game and going to a difficult venue and getting the 3 points and putting ourselves right back in the mix. That's the good thing about it, because next weekend, I believe Hearts are at home to Dundee. Then it's us at home to Aberdeen, and then it's Celtic away on the Sunday. So all three of them are playing at different times. So, regardless of what happens with Hearts, I'm like you. I've got a funny feeling Hearts are going to find that a tricky fixture, even though they're at home and they'll be favourites to beat Dundee. That'll be a tough game. I've got the Dundee game on at the minute, and they're kind of terrorising Dundee United a little bit. They're a decent side.
It's funny because Paisley was a joke figure and he's done excellent with Dundee.
Yeah, he's doing really, really well. And the first half of the season, they were not good, Stevie, but they're getting better as the season progresses, and they are a good side. They're a decent side. Celtic are at home, are away at Dundee United. So the issue or the situation that we find ourselves in is take care of business next weekend. And it'll be a tough game. Stephen Robinson, now in charge of Aberdeen, the first thing he'll do is over the next week, he will sort them out defensively, because it's kind of what he does. So I think he went to the 5 at the back yesterday, I believe, and got a point against Falkirk, who dominated for 90 minutes, or for the majority of the game anyway. So that's what we need to do. Just look after ourselves from here, Stevie. And then we've got these 2 away fixtures against Hearts and Celtic when it comes to the split. Where I've already said this, I look at those 2 fixtures and I don't care whether we're at home or away again in those. And I know there's a long way to go before there, Stevie, but I don't mind that, because those games are going to be like cup finals anyway. And our record in both grounds of late is decent, so I am not concerned at all. We just need to keep winning our games. It's that simple. And first 1 out of 9 is done. We've got it. We've got the 3 points, and I'm delighted with that. I really am, because it's the type of thing that we've done. I mean, I seen you on the group chat today. Well, Davey Herd, as he always does, complains every single time that if we're not wearing the blue kit, he moans about it. And you said, well, it's a perfect day to wear an orange kit and draw 1 each, isn't it? So it's one of those that we look at and we say, look, 3 points and get down the road and enjoy training this week and enjoy the build-up. Because next week's a big game, mate. Aberdeen are always up for it against us. And we just get down the road and prepare for next week and take care of business. That's where I am.
By the way, it's squeaky bum time for absolutely every team. It's not like Celtic are a brilliant side. And Hearts have struggled. I see their own fans saying they haven't played well since the end of January. So Rangers are not firing. Or actually, you could argue that we're controlling games, defending well, but we just can't seem to score. So here's how we're going to end this podcast, Kenny. How do they fix that front line? Because it is not clicking. Mikey Moore, for all he's tried, has only got 2 assists this season. I think he's got 5 goals in 25 odd games. That's not enough. Skov Olsen looks like he's shitting himself and is hiding just out on the touchline as much as possible. He's not coming in. He's not getting involved in the game. Jerry Gassama is so far off it. Oliver Antman's probably looked the best on the left in quite a while. Moore playing inside. So what do you do? How do you fix this? What do you need to do? Ryan Nadiri and Yusuf Jermaine, I think this is all we do. We just buy the same fucking players, because we've got 4 midfielders who are also similar. We've got strikers that are just the same. It's like, Ryan Nadiri likes to play deep, as we've found. He does a shitload of work, by the way. Loads of work. Is he a striker? because I thought he was going to be really good leading the line, but they seem to have changed his position. Could he lead the line? Yusuf Chermiti is just whenever the fuck he decides to turn up. He's like a really shit version of Daniel Kuzan, and he does my head in. But I also like him and want him to do well, so I understand why he plays games. It's just a big frustration for me that on paper and in times you seem to have good players, but why can't we knit it together? Why can't we find a solution? Why do we look so... It looks so pedestrian going forward. There's such a lack of desire. There's such a lack of hunger. Chamiti's chance proves that. There's no speed. There's no tempo. And it's just watching them. They seem to like almost be in a way where they think to themselves, look, the goal will come. So it'll be fine. We'll get there in the end, guys. It's fine. Listen, it's absolutely brilliant. We'll take our time and we'll get one. Almost like at Livingston when they went 2-0 down and then they went, oh shit, we're going to have to attack now. How do you fix that? What do you do? That's the biggest thing for me, Kenny.
For me, I said it the other night. I'm beginning to worry a little bit about this 4-2-2-2 because I don't think we're creating enough with it, Stevie. Dare I say this? And I don't really know what to say. I think Mikey Moore, just at the turn of the year, his best form was when he was playing as a number 10. He wasn't playing out wide. I don't think you're seeing anything. He's doing a job for us, right? And I don't think he was... Personally, I didn't think it was as bad as you feel today.
Listen, I think... Sorry, I'm going to jump in on Mikey Moore. I think Mikey Moore gives you desire, he gives you passion, he gives you 100% effort, but that doesn't mean the quality's there. The quality wasn't there today. He didn't pass anyone. He was clean in twice. He was offside on one. I would be saying, do we sacrifice him off the left and try him elsewhere because Gassama's probably can only play on the left and Gassama can finish? I'm not sure that Mikey Moore's a natural finisher yet. So I thought Mikey Moore's output today was really, really, really bad. I thought he had a really poor game.
Well, I think you get more out of Gassama on the left-hand side than you would out of Mikey Moore on the left-hand side. And you certainly get more out of Gassama on the left-hand side than you do on the right-hand side. So I understand where your thought process is there. But see, as I see it at this moment in time, Stevie, I actually... and I don't want to hark back to bygone era, right, or bygone times, but when you recall Steven Gerrard in his first season, he had two wide and one number 9, if you like. And by the time Steven Gerrard left, those two wide players were playing almost as a 3 with the number 9. They were playing as 10s, 2 10s. And we found a way of breaking teams down that way. Whereas at this minute in time, I genuinely do feel we're struggling to break teams down, particularly like a St Mirren who were effectively today playing with 5 across the back. That's what they were doing, and we find it very, very tough to break that down and get in behind them. And when you look at Mikey Moore, he's not the paciest, but he was linking quite well with Tour Romans, but Tour Romans wasn't getting in behind their defence either. Apart from the goal, I beg your pardon, but I don't know what you do, but it's up to Danny Rule to figure this out. But at this moment in time, if I was going to be for changing it, which I might well be at this minute in time, I would be probably reverting back to one striker, Stevie, because I think we were creating more with the two wide players coming inside like that, where I think with the two strikers, they're staying a little bit wider, and I don't know. That's where I kind of see it. But look, take nothing away from the boys today. They've won the game. They've done exactly what they had to do. So it's up to Danny Rule to find a way to be more creative, because that's for sure. We've got 8 games left now, Stevie. 24 points to play for. We're probably going to need to take 21, 22 out of them, and all of a sudden, you look at it and say you're going to have to create chances, and much more than we have been of late. Again, people could turn on point and say we had 24 shots last week. Yeah, but we didn't really create clear-cut chances. We had 1 or 2, and that was it. So that's the key at this moment in time for me, is to find a way to get those 1 or 2 strikers, whatever it is you're going to play with, in the box shooting. That's what we kind of need, because we're not seeing that.
Sorry, doing what?
It's an alien thing to us, mate. It's called shooting.
Must be something new. Kenny, pleasure, mate, as always. Rangers have won 1-0 in Paisley, and as much as we like to have a laugh, do you know what? It's because we're both pleased that we won. And absolutely delighted to get the 3 points. Do you know what? With 8 games left, see if they won 1-0 every single week playing like that, we'd all take it. And in the summer, when we're walking around with our egos and cockiness and telling everybody we're champions, nobody would give a shit. Rangers done exactly what they had to do today, and it wasn't pretty. But they won the game. It's 3 points, and it's up the road and on to the next one. We're back in it. It's 3 points now behind Hearts, who are top. And that's what we concentrate on. We just go to the next game. Massively, it's back in Rangers' own hands once again. So it's now about winning all our games and just seeing where it takes us. And do you know what? As fanciful as it might sound, and yes, we're all off our tits on positivity because that will probably never happen and blah, blah, blah. I hear you all. I hear it. But do you know what? See, for the next week, we can just think about it anyway, Kenny, because they've done it. We needed 9 cup finals. That's 1 down, 8 to go. Rangers are right back in it. Thank you, my friend. An absolute pleasure, as always. And we're hilarious, aren't we? Just Chuckle Brothers. You know what I mean? Right Side Fred tribute act. Unbelievable patter from the boys. Rangers have won. We're in a good mood. That's all that matters. And
as I've said to you, mate, before we came live here, going to stop wearing the same colour of top as me. It's the same. We look like a pair of bald twins, man. It's uncanny, as you say. And I don't know why that, but it's like it's about 8, 9 times out of 10 we're wearing the same blooming gear. And I don't. It's embarrassing.
I'm not embarrassed, Kenny. You're a style icon, mate.
Oh, well, that's fair, isn't it? That's true. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed that, mate. And as you say, back in our own hands, and that's all we can ask for. It's been a good weekend for us, and we just need to look at the build-up for next week, because both the other teams that are now in this title race have got tough games next weekend. So do we. But we're at home and let's do the business and get the 3 points. And if we keep doing that, mate, we are going to be there and thereabouts.
Some lovely comments coming in now. Like a pair of curtains, the Blues brothers, the Mitchell brothers, Right Said Fred, twins, Kenny is Arnold, Stevie is Danny. And then Karen simply saying,
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, wee Danny. Right. Huge thanks to our sponsors, Rhino Express, Clive Fire Protection and Joinery, Afro Industrial Solutions, CSD Air Conditioning, Candid, and our new Sunday sponsors, rydce.co.uk. There'll be more from Rangers Youth Development and Four Lads Partnership, which, if you didn't realise we covered recently, there is no charge to Rangers Youth Development Company. We're doing that to help them and help Colin Stewart just for the remainder of the season. So we really appreciate that team up as well from Colin and all the team. They offered us money. They offered us stuff. We said absolutely not. That's the most important thing. We try and do stuff. So we'll get stuff. Well, we do a live show, Kenny, somewhere for Rangers Youth Development. You could see us pop up. I should say before we end, apologies, ladies and gentlemen, we had to cancel our show in Belfast on March 28th at the end of the month. Personally, I just wasn't able to fulfill it. There's a lot going on at this moment in time, and it's a difficult time for me, so I've had to cancel that. I apologise to absolutely everyone, and everybody's been refunded in full. Nobody's lost any money or anything like that, so I apologise about that. We will look to do it again. So, yeah, as I said, I'm very sorry. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Sunday show is back tonight, so have a look at that. You'll get more depth, and I think Cheryl, Scotty, and Rob are tonight's Sunday show. Kenny and I will be back on Monday night with Davey. Instead of 2 Baldies, you'll have 3. What a time to be alive. Then it's Chris, myself, and Kenny on Wednesday. Your Friday show's here, and then we are back from the gantry on Saturday night against Aberdeen. Have a good week, folks. I think there's some good football on today. Dundee United second half, and then there's Liverpool Spurs. I think today as well. Spurs are teetering, aren't they? They might be going down this year, Kenny. So that's an interesting one. that would be a turn up for the. Imagine Arsenal won the league and Tottenham went down. See, if you're a Tottenham fan, you just leave, wouldn't you?
That'd be funny, wouldn't it? I mean, genuinely, oh dear, that mega stadium in the Championship, it's a wee shame.
Aye. Yes. But on that note, have a Sunday. Have a great Sunday. A very happy Mother's Day to all the female watchers. And if you're lucky enough to still have your mum, make sure you tell her that you love her greatly. Take care, folks. Bye for now.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.